This is a topic I'd like to discuss. It's of cancer. So I'm not going to name who's someone I've got some sort of association with. Obviously it came up. I always thought of it as the human body is mostly water. So a lot of humans, or if not everyone, has the cells. They just need to be activated. So I had this strange spin on it. I was like, what if it's just one of those things that you sort of test the blood, you get a statistic, you work out a median average and sort of figure out, what acidic levels, what sugar, salt, what, your body is pretty hot. You'd be surprised it's actually X amount of degrees. It's warmer than you think, but your body's mostly water. So is it in the sense more something like a fungus, a mold, or a moss, Certain things, say factors X create, the cancer cell, ignition, bring them alive or activate whatever per se. So it was a really interesting topic. I was thinking, well, if you could find out obviously what is the perfect breeding environment for that, you know, activation, and then do the opposite, diet, exercise, quit smoking, all those sort of things, and sort of work out a statistic and go, okay, is it this water ratio to blood, to the cells, red and white, etc. Is it this amount of fat in the system? Is it X? Is it Y? Is it Z? And actually sort of start working together. Like you got all these scientists, all these experts, but you got each country doing their own thing. There's some networking, some aren't. You got all the agencies, the CSIRO, everyone got together internationally. You got people to put their opinions. But you'd be like, so what? But they're not qualified. But if someone who is qualified, an expert, you said something in a different concept or a different way, essentially out of the box, it is possible they might take a spin off it and go, well, if we're looking at a different concept, maybe there's an alternative. So talk about there's something in honey, the bee's pollen goes through the stomach, gets digested, there's enzymes, etc., makes the honey. So I reckon there's something in honey that does it. So I always thought, well, if you could get like a farm, knock everything down, rent some bobcats, clear it, do a few dams, plastic in there, keep the water in, whatever, but only plant, certain plants, all your medical plants, any plant in this or that that is going to, help create, the perfect pollen and increase that thing in the honey that does these, miracles of killing cancer cells. But is it easier said or is it harder, like in what concepts? If the government just knocked down X amount of land and say bees traveled this general vicinity, kilometers or whatever, you just had them in the same area and you like a four seasons take on it. They've always got pollen. Is it possible you could selectively breed honey? Like this is a Rolls Royce of honey. This is the honey that is of the highest quality. Having things like aloe vera, but when it flowers, for the seeds to create, they'll be getting pollen from that too. Aloe vera is, a miracle succulent. It's a miracle plant. So what got me thinking, if they're selectively breeding honey in a controlled environment, and then obviously other plants to enrich it. Say you need X amount of magnesium for this honey to be great. We'll get plants that have X amount of, magnesium exhaustion from the soil or that require higher magnesium levels that, absorb more or, water resistant levels, which do, which don't, and sort of do this massive mass calculation. It's like a recipe, you want to do like a rocky road. You got your marshmallows, your chocolate, your bits of cherries, all these other things, whatever, yeah? But is it possible that in the same concept for the cancer prevention or annihilation, whatever, you would do the same thing? You would sort of perfect the recipe, you'd perfect the honey, you'd perfect the environment and a manipulation of nature and science to create the perfect honey to get that component out. And then, in a sense, it's synthetic. Have we just not hit that point yet where we've discovered it? Or has it just not, come out yet? It's a very interesting subject. It affects a lot of people. When you have people's family trees or the bloodline, it's a very common. But what I'm thinking is like, couldn't you get the aloe vera as like a skin treatment after the radiation or whatever? I don't know too much about it, but as much as you think it doesn't matter, it does. I should know more. If all the humans on this globe got together and just sent 100 random things they think, may help, like selective breeding environments, manipulation of nature for the perfect honey to extract that component, Or do we need to enrich the blood? Do we need to get, you know, selective breeding on fruit like cherries, blueberries, and acai, things that are going to make more white blood cells in this blood? Are we trying to like thicken the blood, or are we trying to thinnen it? You know, what are we actually trying to do? But if every person said just 100 things they think was somewhat relevant to all the experts out there, I'm talking everyone together, Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, you know, just everyone, you know, and the rest of the world. So sometimes brainstorming, as much as you want to say these people are experts, they can do it themselves, well, isn't two heads better than one? Imagine 8 billion plus, you know what I'm saying? So in that concept, is this a thing as we do not have enough funding, or we don't have enough people involved? Like, what is the concept here? Like, what are these experts doing right? Obviously, absolutely astronomical amounts of things, but what are they doing? What is missed? What is, you know, overseen? Or are the scientists going, okay, this expert has said it's this, that's what we're doing? Is it time for other scientists to step up, medical expert, men, women, whatever, and be like, maybe it's this, and that, or whatever, and just start brainstorming, just throw stuff out there? Because at the end of the day, we're all, you know, human. Yeah, we all need to help each other. But the same thing, what does a human and nature have in common? It wants to reproduce, plant, microorganism, you know, etc., etc., etc. You know, it is, you know, an aim in life to reproduce. But we as humans sort of have that option whether we choose to or not. So when it comes to cancer, is this something that we need like group chats? We need more involvement. We need all the YouTube together. We need to seriously start thinking. Hypothetical brainstorm. I heard this, I heard that, but maybe this and that could, you know, might actually lead to something. Anyways, this isn't a video for subscribers or likes or kind of. It's not about that. This is like a genuine topic. Like, how do you know it's not going to affect you one day? You can't predict the future. You won't be able to prevent it. Be out of your control. But maybe if we all get together as, you know, not 8 billion plus, but just one. You know, maybe it could be achieved. Maybe one day there'll be a cure. Maybe one day there'll be prevention, or we'll know the exact, you know, statistic for all the variations that create the perfect breeding environment to activate those cells, and we do the opposite, you know, diet, exercise, certain extents, you know, the right water intake, all these sort of things, not smoke cigarettes, etc. And one thing I'd like to say to the smokers out there, look, I smoke too, so I understand. But mate, I started smoking at 16. If I really hit the reality, I went 16 years without them. Essentially, I didn't ever need them. It's more it's a desire, it's, you know, luxury. You're smoking away your money, it's not doing anything for you. At the end of the day, it's really just polluting the environment, the air, the oceans, the earth in general, your lungs, you know, fitness down the drain. But look, that's a topic for another day. This is about unity and just working together, and maybe if we could create some platform on YouTube, you know what I mean? Like, it's also an interesting concept. It's like engines. All you need is heat and air essentially, or kinetic energy movement, you know. Someone looks at it and has a few other takes on it, well, you're creating power and have other, you know, other ways to make power or movement, then you've got a brand new engine. It's the same concept. Look, I just want you to comment anything relevant, anything you've read or you heard, or the speculation on any. Oh, what if you did it like this? Look, I'm really interested. I'm sure the largest majority of people, you know, reading those comments will be interested. Mate, there might be even a few experts in that. You know, it's definitely an interesting topic. But yeah, we'll just go from there. Hashtag RZA official, 50 Shades of McGiffin podcast going really well. I'm really happy with it. And yeah, cheers.